Date 1. I opened a free trial on one of those property lookup websites and typed in my parents' full names. The results hit fast. They bought a new house in another state 4 years ago. The house was in both their names. I found a school newsletter with my mother listed as a volunteer. Then came a blog from a local park event where they had been photographed alongside a girl who looked about 7-8 daughter, someone I'd never heard about. I created a blank social media account and searched their names. Within minutes, I found the profiles, family photos, vacation albums, birthday cakes. One post had all of them at a beach resort, matching outfits, all smiles. The caption said, "Our world." I stared at that post for 10 minutes. I didn't comment, I didn't message them. But I found a distant relative's profile, someone I vaguely remembered from early childhood. I sent a message, just asking why no one had reached out. The reply came a day later. It was cold, said I had always been difficult, never grateful, said my parents had done their best, and that I should get over the past. That was the last message I got. They blocked the account. After that, I deleted it and never tried again. After that, I buried myself in work. I doubled my course load and applied for internships like my life depended on it. I got accepted into a competitive program for students in public policy and started working part-time for a local nonprofit. One of the staff members there introduced me to journaling, not the diary kind, but structured entries with facts, timelines, and personal documentation. I started writing it all down, not to dwell, just to make sense of what had happened. I recorded everything I remembered, names, dates, conversations, places. I wanted it on paper, something real. I kept the returned envelope, the graduation photos, in a file with my journal. At some point that spring, I sat down with the counselor again. We updated my records for emergency contact. I listed the friend's mother. She didn't know I had done that, but I couldn't think of anyone else who would actually answer the phone. And if something happened to me, I didn't tell her, and I didn't tell him, but from that point forward, I made a decision. I wasn't going to write letters again. I wasn't going to send emails or check their profiles. I had already spent too many years standing in doorways, waiting for someone who wasn't coming. The story from here on out was mine and mine alone. It happened during a quiet week between midterms. I was checking my university email like I usually did before class when I saw a message with a name I hadn't read in years. It was from my father. The subject line was simple. Hoping to talk. The body was short, 2 maybe 4 lines. He asked if I had time for a conversation and said they wanted to reconnect. I stared at the screen for a long time before doing anything. The address was real. It wasn't spoofed or fake. It matched the old one I remembered, though the domain was new. I didn't reply. I forwarded the message to my college counselor and flagged it for later. I took a screenshot and sent it to the friend whose family had taken me in over winter break. We sat down and talked it through. No one gave me answers. They just asked what I needed and what I was willing to risk. After a week, I responded with one line. Why now? After all this time, after all the silence? The next reply came quickly. He said that their daughter, my half-sister, had seen my name in a student spotlight article. Apparently, my photo and a small write-up had been featured on the university's website for a scholarship I'd received. She had asked questions, and that's what had prompted the email. He said they wanted to be better, to make amends. Nowhere in the message did he mention the past. No mention of boarding school, no mention of missed holidays, no explanation for why no one showed up at graduation. Just a line about moving forward. I answered again. I asked directly, why had they left me at that school for so long? Why had they moved to another state without telling me? Why didn't anyone come? His next message ignored all of it. He wrote that we should stop looking backward and instead build something new. No details, no honesty. Just vague talk about reconnecting and letting go of bitterness. That's when I replied with conditions. I said all communication had to stay in writing. No calls, no surprise visits, no contact through third parties. I made it clear I was legally emancipated with full financial independence. I told him I'd already designated my emergency contact years ago, my friend's mother, who had shown up when they didn't. 3 days later, a message popped up from a new number. I didn't open it. I checked the sender's name, saw his initials, and blocked it immediately. I also set a filter on my phone to delete messages from any unapproved numbers. 2 days after that, I got an email from my mother. Her tone was completely different. She blamed him for everything. She said she was powerless at the time, that she'd wanted to reach out but was afraid. She mentioned that she had kept some of my school photos and claimed she thought I was happy at the academy. She said she hoped we could talk sometime. I replied once. I didn't argue. I didn't accuse. I just said that I was safe, healthy, and building my life without them. I told her I didn't want a relationship. That they had made their choice, and that I had made mine. I ended the message with one line, please don't contact me again. Then I blocked both of the emails, phone numbers, any social media handles I could connect to their names. I double-checked every platform. I had removed any public-facing details and updated my privacy settings. I created a new digital identity for anything sensitive: banking, legal documents, mailing addresses. When I saw my therapist that week, I brought the whole printout. We went through every message, every response, every word. She didn't tell me I had done the right thing. She didn't tell me I was wrong, either. She just helped me understand what it meant to choose a boundary and keep it. That night, I opened my journal and flipped back through the entries from freshman year. Notes about the returned letter, the family photos I wasn't in, the job applications, the nights I'd stayed in the library until closing. I added a new page. I wrote out every interaction I just had with them, not emotionally, just facts. What was said, what I replied, what I did. And then I started a new file on my laptop, draft 1. It wasn't a memoir, not yet. More like a personal essay series. I didn't start with the bad memories. I started with the train ride after graduation, the empty seat next to me, the silence. Then I wrote about the apartment, the meals I made, the part-time job at the bookstore. I laid it out one page at a time. This wasn't revenge. I wasn't planning to send it to anyone. It was just time to put it all somewhere solid. Not for them, for me. Because if they were finally trying to rewrite the story, then I needed to make sure my mind stayed true.